Hello, everybody, and welcome. Today, we're going to talk about this interview that was very fascinating to me. I kept some notes and I wanted to expand a little bit. I wanted to make a video about PSSR in general for a while now, but what I was writing down kept feeling that I don't know what they actually want to do. So I ended up not making it, even though I tried multiple times. I didn't like that I had uncertainty about this, what I was saying. So this video definitely helped me have a more concrete understanding of what we are supposed to be expecting and what eventually going to be the focus of the PSSR and in general machine learning, because spectral resolution is just one of the things that they do, right? So without further ado, I wanted to start first with one of the things that they talked about here. I will not talk here. I will just let the video play.
Quality comeback.
Yeah, so PSSR, it's basically your kind of first implementation here of a machine learning based upscaling model. And I think we're seeing, that for sure people are doing pretty wide ranges in terms of those upscaling factors. But in the future, are you potentially looking to even increase those upscaling factors or maybe be delivering better quality out of PSSR, out of a new version of PSSR perhaps? Like we know that so far there have been some improvements in that PSSR iteration over the time pre-launch. So will that continue in the future, do you think?
I mean, we're definitely continuing with development of these ML-based libraries for game graphics. It's just that there's so many targets to go up against. Like, I was in that talk today, I was also going over frame generation, frame extrapolation, ray tracing, denoising, and the like. So what order and what focus, those are really good questions. Additionally complicating this, of course, is that we announced Project Amethyst with AMD today. Right. So it's not just us developing the networks. We have a partner that we're doing it with. And of course, what the partner feels about that technology direction and where the focus should be is also very important.
Okay, so in that vein,
all right, so in this part, definitely like what happened, it was definitely that Mark Cerny didn't actually answer the question, and many people that didn't understand what he was actually saying in general on the notes that he spoke about, they pretty much like just, this was a nothing answer, but it doesn't really matter because this gave us the key to understand what is going to be the next focus for the PSSR. Because right now they're using only spectral resolution. Then, as they said here, they want to explore interpolation, which is frame generation, and having better extrapolation, which is the prediction of the next frame. So, the game, imagine it is like picture after picture after picture. What the machine learning is doing is trying to predict as best as it can the next frame. So that's why right now they haven't introduced even the feature yet, the frame generation, because they're still working on it. And it feels like overall this is going to be the base of them trying to do machine learning. And this is going to be a big thing because that's where, in my opinion, at least this is all speculation from my part, that is what I think is where the handheld is going to come out, because they will wait for a stronger chip and then they will make it work with machine learning, more information and bigger updates that they're going to have. Because remember, AMD also said themselves that they're going to, the next chip, the next major chip that they're going to release, it is going to have a lot of focus on handhelds. So that means that they're going to do a lot of work there in order to have those smaller resolutions more efficiently, because right now everything is being more efficiently made for higher resolutions. So like going from 1080p to 4K, or going, which is the biggest leap ever, going from 1080p to 1440p. These kind of differences in resolution is what they're doing right now, and they don't really take into account devices like the Steam Deck and whatever the Sony one gonna be, which probably gonna be 1080p devices the next generation. I don't think they're gonna jump higher on a handheld. It makes no sense. So here, what is the key to absorb from this is that also they're talking about, that's why like he dodged the question, because they cannot really say what is going to happen in the future. They don't know exactly what is going to be the next thing. And this is all coming from someone, I'm a developer, but I am not like any Sony fanboy or whatever. I play everything and everywhere. So I don't really care about those stuff. But I'm just trying to say, I'm not trying to suck off the guy. I'm just trying to explain where he is coming from. Because on PC, these things, they don't care. Like PC users, they don't really care. Experimental features, they are going into the machines, and if you use them, you use them. If you don't use them, you don't use them. Especially the same thing was DLSS when it first came out. This is the thing that I want to talk about PSSR here. PSSR is just the first iteration, version 1.0. And this is not the same with PC. That's why it's not really comparable. If you know anything about machine learning, you know that they need to have databases to make the prediction of the frames and stuff like this, and more information about the games being played. The more people play games with DLSS, the more information they can pull out of those logs, and they can improve the machine learning. And that's why if you compare to DLSS 1.0, gonna be different on the same GPU when you compare it to DLSS 3.8, that is the current version. And that is the thing also that will happen with PSSR. Yes, right now it is the worst it will ever gonna be. And the developers have not really fully utilized it yet because it just came out, right? DLSS implements different in their engines compared to PSSR. I don't think it's going to be the same exact thing. And here comes the thing that they talked about next, which is the project Amethyst, which is a collaboration with AMD, and they're going to combine their machine learning networks, which is going to be like AMD, because they're also using machine learning, and they said that their next chips are going to have machine learning inside, like DLSS, machine learning upscaling. So they're going to be using that on those new chips. And that's why this, in a way, PlayStation 5 is kind of like, PlayStation 5 Pro is kind of like the introduction to that, right? They're also doing it on their own, AMD, and they also have PlayStation. They have introduced it to this silicon. And the way that they do this right now is that they're both now gonna combine the machine learning effort in order to have better results. And this, in the end, probably gonna happen with Xbox in the future. All the AMD kind of hardware, they will want to have this collaboration with AMD in order to have a bigger structure. And the thing is, when the machine learning gets better, then the frame generation gonna get introduced. And because frame generation needs way more data than just the upscaling, because the upscaling can be kind of plug and play or configured by the developer. But also when it comes to, that's why he didn't really say what is next. Frame interpolation, frame extrapolation is the frame generation, and extrapolation is the thing that predicts the future frame, and that is where the machine learning collaboration with Amethyst come here. Those things are what matters. That's why they didn't introduce really frame generation yet to the machine, even though I'm pretty sure it's capable. Other things that they spoke about is that, now I'm just gonna talk general because my main focus was about this, and that PSSR gonna get better. And then when they are ready, they're going to introduce also frame generation at some point. But right now, they want, because console is not PC, you have to be sure that everything is gonna work. On PC, you can be like, here is the option. You can turn it on and you can turn it off. It's different situation than what it is on consoles because they want to make life easy on consoles. To me, it kind of seems a bit excessive. You can just put it there, and if it doesn't work, someone's gonna disable it. But maybe it has to do with refunds and stuff like that, which is, I don't know about those. So the next thing that they talked about here was that they were talking about how people are getting too hung up on the internal resolution to external resolution. You know, when the people, a lot of making fun on Twitter about, for example, Final Fantasy 16 having internal resolution 800p or something like that. In reality, this is something that I agree with Mark Cerny here. Because it's one of the aspects that analyzing too much makes people feel that this is bad. When, for example, someone gonna say, oh, the internal resolution drops down because there are so many effects, drops down to 720p, in your head that you think you're playing the game at 4K, you're thinking, oh no, this is terrible. But in reality is many times you don't really notice those things unless you go pixel perfect. And that's what one of the reasons that when something goes like really, like something can sound really critical from Digital Foundry and at the same time it's not that big of a deal kind of situation. Yeah, this is kind of what I mean, because you can go when you go too deep, things sound bad or sometimes sound worse than they are. Because in the end, as Mark Cerny said, what makes sense is to take out the image quality that you have in the end. What you're trying to recreate with spectral resolution and frame generation, that is what really matters here. And that's what I really want to say about this, because it matters a lot, you know. It matters a lot if someone goes on and just keeps showing and saying stuff like that don't really matter. It won't really make any sense for you thinking on the back of your head that this is bad or supposed to be better. In the end, what matters is what you get the end result, and they should judge the end result. If the end result is bad, sure, of course, right? But when they're talking about the internal and how it transforms, most people focus on the internal resolution and they don't focus on the external, what you actually get in the end. Sorry for the big segment there. Next, they talked about with Mike, the other guy, I can't pronounce his surname, that PSSR and ray tracing reflections, they kind of been improved with the PSSR, and then he talked about, you can watch it in the video, he explained, if you're into nerdy stuff, he explained how they configured the PSSR in order to work with with the reflections, and they had to work with how they had to work in a way, like imagine it like layers of depth, how the pixels go and how it works in order for the reflection to look even better with PSSR in some games. I think they spoke about Spider-Man. Then they talked about hardware in general, and it's something that I saw it myself. I'm pretty sure a lot of people that understand technology see it themselves too, that machine learning and the way that they're going to work with AMD, it is definitely going to be the future of the silicons they're going to be introducing, because they cannot really keep increasing the raw power. When they keep increasing the raw power, the price is going to skyrocket. That's the problem. That's why the Pro is at this price. That's why the PS5 doesn't get much price reduction, is because the expenses to make them don't go down. Of course, they make money of it, but I'm just saying that the way it works, the silicon doesn't get cheaper. That's why when you go to buy GPU as well, you see big prices and rarely go down in the same generation. So the thing is here that I wanted you to take off from this is that they said that most likely TLDR, they want to improve ray tracing in the next hardware, and they want to improve the machine learning and have a APU that is capable of giving a good experience. because they have to control the pricing. They cannot go like PCs. They cannot go too high. So they have to find a level that people will buy this, because sure, the Pro is going to be for people that always want the best, right? But what about the next generation? That is the scary stuff. How far it will go after that. But yes, this is really the situation that we have, and that's why all these companies, including Nintendo, they are lucky that they're together with Nvidia on this, and I hope they will be able to show off the capabilities of having more focused machine learning for the handheld devices. And that's when the next PlayStation handheld device is going to come into play. The same with the Xbox One, the same with the Steam Deck 2, probably, because all those things gonna be AMD products. All of them gonna be custom APUs. So yeah, that's pretty much it. That is the video. I will try to tune out the nerd zone of this stuff, because I'm pretty sure many people don't actually care for this stuff. But I want to say, while they didn't really spoke about very specific stuff, at least we have an idea on what they want to do. And while we don't know what is next for PSSR and when, we know that they're going to keep improving it, because I was uncertain for that. Maybe I thought that they will want to make updates on the next iteration of the hardware. So yeah, we will see how it goes. Hopefully everything gonna be alright. Thank you for watching. This is a lengthy video. If you're watching until the end, thank you. And if you didn't, well, it is what it is. You will not see this. See you next time. Have fun.